All right, so welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well in early 2021 here. It's definitely been kind of a real winter here. A lot of snow, a lot of ice, very cold. Right now, I'm watching down in Texas. They're having a big snowstorm down there, and it's headed up this way. So we've been getting a lot of snow, so that's kind of kept a damper on things outside, but obviously in the winter, trying to get some of those reloading projects, to keep them going. And so the next project that I'm getting ready to start on here is for 300 Blackout. We also have some other stuff I'm working on with 7.5 Swiss and 7.62 NATO, 357 Magnum, 9 mil and 45. So got plenty of brass to do right now, but right now I'm focused on 300 Blackout, and so looking at all the different bullets that I have, I was trying to decide, which project to go with next, and I decided to go ahead and shoot for the Sierra 110 grain hollow point bullets. Now, I had noticed online that I haven't really seen a lot of people load these in 300 Blackout. I saw some chitter chatter about it here and there, but not a huge amount of talk about people using them. So I was a little bit intrigued and thought I'd kind of explore it myself to see where it would go. So I downloaded the data from Sierra and had a look at it, and looking at kind of the different powders that that they have listed that they did loads for with it. They ran through, I think, pretty much just about all the different 300 Blackout powders you could use just about. And I was also thinking about, what do I have available? I have kind of the standard IMR 4227. I've got a small quantity of H110 left, but I have a lot of little gun, and also have CFE Black. So CFE Black, for me, the one thing I've noticed with that is it's not really kind of like a power, powder. So for something like this, you end up, like I'm looking at the data here, and you get up to 2,200 feet per second. They're listing 23.4, which is definitely going to be a compressed load. CFE Black, I kind of see that having a good purpose for target shooting and just kind of general purpose plinking, but to get some really good velocity going with these bullets, that's probably not going to be my first choice. I think I have about 2 or 3 pounds of that I can use for some other stuff. And then the H110, I'm going to have to do some shopping and, hunt down either the Win 296 or the H110, which is basically the same thing. And then little gun, of course. So little gun, they're showing for a 20.7 load, which is the max load. 2,400 feet per second, so I'm looking somewhere in the 2,300 feet per second range to kind of go with. And their starting load, they didn't really do much, lower down the scale here. They just kind of worked up 2 loads, but 19.6 for 2,300 feet per second. So based on previous experimenting with little gun and 110 grain bullets, I actually think I might start a little bit lower than that and just kind of scale my way up and kind of see where that goes. The other thing that stands out for me with these bullets is they're kind of a different profile. A lot of the other 110 grain bullets, they're kind of more of a stubby type bullet. You have an open cavity there. You look down into it, you can see the lead kind of down a bit below, so that front part of the nose there, it's kind of set up for expansion. So, but kind of a different profile bullet than, some of the other 110 grain bullets. So kind of a little bit shorter, stubbier. And one thing that's kind of stood out to me with this is that the overall length that they were using is 1.97. I think the lowest I've ever loaded anything for with 300 Blackout is 2.05. So that's a little bit short, but I think what I might do is I'll start out with kind of what they're using for the overall length, and just kind of use that as a baseline to kind of work from there. So that's kind of looking at the data. The little gun, I think hopefully that works out, because you know, I've got plenty of it right now, and so that makes it nice and easy to use that to start out with. So I think I'm going to do kind of a couple of different loads. I think I'm going to start out kind of a little bit lower, 18.5, and then, you know, work my way up from there and kind of see where it goes. Also got a magneto speed chronograph recently, so that I found that works real well. So we'll definitely be doing some data with that. So the brass I'm going to use is brand new Starline brass that I've already primed. And I'm using the number 41 CCI primers with that, which is my go-to primer for any you know, small rifle that I do. So, you know, like 300 Blackout. So the one thing that with the Starline brass is I've had really good results with this. The one thing I have found in the past with other 300 Blackout brass I've been using is there's a lot of inconsistency out there, especially if you're using cut down 556 or 223 brass. I find a lot of inconsistency in the case necks and the case shoulders and all that sort of thing, and sometimes especially a lot of the case mounts and the case shoulders being very thin, and then you end up with a lot of splits and stuff. So I've started to kind of gradually move to this Starline brass. It seems to have kind of thicker neck, thicker shoulder that's kind of made to the proper spec, and you don't get the inconsistencies that you find with some of the cut down 556, 223 brass. So I think over time I'm going to gradually kind of evolve. And as you know, right now they're basically sold out on everything at Starline. But as I get a chance, buy it in 500, you know, piece lots, you know, or 1,000 piece lots, and you know, gradually kind of build up the collection of the Starline brass, and then the other brass I have just kind of, you know, use that up over time for like plinking rounds or whatever. Where I'm not looking for the best accuracy or the best velocity. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So what we'll go ahead and do is in the next video is we will get everything set up. We'll get the powder in the powder measure, and we'll start loading some rounds. And then part 3, we'll take it out, weather permitting at some point. Probably going to have to snowshoe back into the range because it's so bad right now with the weather conditions, and hook up the chronograph and do some testing. And it'll be interesting to see where we end up with this, and if this is going to be a, you know, bullet that I'm going to kind of stick with and you know, use over a long period of time. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm interested to see what the results are going to be. All right, y'all. So we'll check you for the next time, and we'll start getting some of these loaded up for the next video. All right, any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. Thanks. Y'all have a good one.